think everything's working all right now. Just having a little bit of stream difficulty there, getting everything up and running. But it looks like everything is okay now. Everything looks pretty smooth. Might take a second here for it to catch up. Alright, so I think we're good, so I'll go ahead and get started. So yeah, Inav build. So you guys were probably on the channel the other night when we put the Cricut Pro 2 into the 6-inch Cougar frame. Well, this is the way it looks now. And I mean, honestly, the reason why I decided to start stripping parts off of this is A, I didn't want to spend any more money on doing this Inav build, and B, my 5.5-inch Proton, I just uploaded a video of it today. I got to shoot a little bit. I got to actually fly a little bit when I got home. And the 5.5-inch Proton, the weight, 5S, the 2207 Primos, I mean, everything is just there. There's just no need for me to have this right now. You know, it flies great. It gave me great video, but I don't get as long as flight times with it. The CL Racing board needs to come out anyway because it's having some issues and it needs sent back and it shipped out. And, you know, I needed a camera and a crossfire and everything else. So the 6-inch is going away for a little bit, and I'm going to do an Inav build with my ready-made RC Recruit or S800 or 670 or whatever the different Banggood versions are called and everything. And the biggest reason's A, because I have it and everything to go that I need, and B, there's just so much information out there, and it seems like the success as far as like starting with Inav and this type of flying wing is very high. So it seems like it's going to be a pretty straightforward build, and the presets and everything seem to work pretty well out of the box. And I'm pretty excited about it. I mean, I love flying planes and fixed wing. It's starting to turn the corner. I know we're not out of winter yet, but the days are getting longer. And hopefully here in another month and a half or two, I'm going to be heading out to the flying field. So I did a long range FPV a long time ago, back, I don't know, it sounds like a long time ago, but it was like, I don't know, 2015, something like that maybe. If you look way back on my channel, you'll see some Bixler 3 stuff. And I did like a 35 mile round trip with the Bix 3 running with a Eagle Tree Vector and 1.3 video and the Dragon Link. That craft was so dependable, and I still have it, but you know, the reason why I decided not to go and try to recreate that is, honestly, I'm not sure if I can. I am going to be doing some special things as far as the video and everything goes, a little bit outside of the you know, the usual 5.8. I'm going to be doing 2.4 with this, and we'll be using Crossfire. I've got the big boy Crossfire, so we can crank it up to 1 watt, 2 watts, or whatever. So we're going to be fine as far as that goes. But honestly, I know with this particular wing, I'm not going to get that kind of distance. I'm trying to figure out what kind of power system to go with right off the bat. You know, it's got the small little 30 amp ESC, and it's got like a 2204 2300 kV motor. Those are definitely coming out. I am either going to go with one of the F80s at 2200 kV and the Speedix 30 amps here, or I am going to go with Speedix 30 amp, and I'm going to put on one of Richard Shelton's Primo 2207 2450s because they do great with everything else that I have. Why not throw one of them on a wing? So let me see how this is going to look here. Just plop it down on the bench here. Man, I'm gonna need to figure out something with my camera to get some more space and everything. So this is the Recruit, and everything about the Recruit is awesome. The little stabilizer that comes with it, it runs great. I was running just a micro run cam, that way I could get my voltage and everything. And I threw Crossfire in 2.4 in this, and had everything sticking out of the top plate here, and did, like, I don't know, a 5 or 6 mile flight or something back in the fall. But I ripped everything out of there just because I knew I wouldn't be flying at all. So I know it can be done, and I've got everything I need, and I've kind of done some preliminary work and cutout and everything. Everything comes pre-wired. By the way, if you don't want to get into Inav and you just want to maybe get like a wing to fly or something, this thing is awesome. It is as advertised. You literally can just sit there and throw it in the air, and it's going to like take off and start flying. So I've made some cuts and everything. Going to be putting the immersion 2.4 right here, and I've got some channeled out stuff there for the power wires. GPS is going to be here. I did a video back on setting up GPS in the quad, so I know that that works. That worked out great. I've pulled out the Runcam Eagle 2 for my flight camera, so that way I can have good visibility when the light levels get down low, because wings, you know, airplanes are kind of fussy when it comes to wind, especially wings. So a lot of the flights will start happening around dusk and stuff like that. Maybe a little bit earlier when the winds start calming down, or you're going to get a lot of this like rocking, which, you know, you can actually correct. You can correct the rocking a lot in post, which is actually pretty nice. So a lot of this work, I'm going to do like some video series on this, and maybe I will actually maybe do some of it live stream just so we can talk and do all that kind of stuff. But honestly, a lot of it is just going to be extending wires and making the right connections and everything like that. So got my Crossfire right here, which is going to need all the wires extended on it and everything like that. I'm going to be running the Immortal T up and down through the wing, probably around here somewhere, to keep a little bit of separation. I don't want to put it out all the way out here, just because it's kind of thin out there. I'd like to have as much meat of the antenna buried inside the foam, and it shouldn't affect the reception much at all, so we should be okay with there. So yeah, a lot of it's just going to be extending and running wires, and then, you know, since I'm going to be running a mini quad ESC right off the bat, I'm going to need a power distribution board, because you need a lot of different voltage levels to run airplanes. You need 5 volts to run your servos. Most airplane ESCs have a BEC, a BEC, battery eliminating circuit built into them that will run like 2 or 3 amps. But I'm going to need the PDB to run power pretty much for everything, except for the GPS and the Crossfire are going to actually be ran off of, and this is the part that got me kind of excited about doing this, off of DYS F4 Pro. Now, I hate this flight controller. I'll never throw it in a quad, ever again because they blow up. They can't handle the power or anything like that coming to them. But this is, I don't know, version 1.3 or 1.4 or something like that. So I think we are going to be okay. And the awesome thing about it is if we go and take a look here. Let me switch over to screen view. So Inav now has the DYS F4 as one of its targets. So actually, let me just start up Inav here real quick. Where did I put it? I can't remember where I put it at. It is right here, Inav. So I've watched a ton of videos and everything about Inav and all the different launch modes and everything, and it's just so funny to think that this can actually happen at the price point that it's at compared to what you would pay for a Vector. And my Vector ran flawlessly. I mean, I am not gonna lie, it was fantastic, but I just am not prepared to spend that kind of money on something like that for a little project plane or something. And being able to do this is great. And as I said, with the new version of Inav 1.8, DYS F4 Pro is actually an Inav target, which is awesome. So that means I didn't have to buy anything else. There's CL Racing has his own Inav board out right now. Everybody and their brother pretty much uses an Omnibus F4. There's the V1, the V2, the V5, all kinds of them. But you don't really know who you're getting them from and this and that and everything else. And I guess as many problems as I've had with these DYS boards, I guess it doesn't even matter. You know, so what's the point? But it's just crazy that this actually works. I mean, I know a lot of you guys have probably seen this stuff already, but just in case you haven't, I mean, this is literally just like Betaflight. You can actually run quads with this. I have not seen any really successful quad builds at all. I've seen them fly and I've seen them work, but they don't seem to fly very well at all. So it's kind of one of those things that, let me look here, we at, yeah. So it's kind of one of those things that it's just like, yeah, I don't know. I don't think I'm gonna do that with a quad, at least not for a long time. But I haven't done anything to this besides flash it. I still need to, obviously you can see how I'm moving it around. The accelerometer needs calibrated, and there's a very specific process for that, and we'll do that before we put it in the ship. But you know, everything is it's crazy. You pick like a preset, and most people are picking the flying wing down here for this Recruit S800 type of deal. But everything is just like Betaflight. I mean, you have your ports and UART settings here, your configuration. This is where you set up all of your different, you know, all your different things here. Your fail-safe as far as like setting up return to home or land or whatever. You have PID tuning built into it. There's like your filtering. You have advanced tuning, your receiver tab, and then of course there's the modes, which the modes are just crazy because, you know, they've got the normal stabilized type of stuff and return to home and everything like that, but they also have like an auto land, they have an auto takeoff. There's just so much stuff that they're doing, and it's pretty cool just to be part of it. Full OSD, which is totally configurable, just like in Betaflight. So yeah, it's going to be pretty exciting when all that is said and done. So I don't know. I mean, are you any of you guys out there into fixed wings or doing anything like this? I know I'm pretty excited about it just because of where I have been in the past, and I'm amazed at how fast the technology is advanced, and I'm pretty anxious to see for myself how this works. I mean, I've watched so many videos, and it looks like it really is just as simple as wiring everything up, flashing stuff. I mean, you're going to have your usual things with planes that you're going to have to deal with. You're going to have to get your CG correct. You're going to have to worry about, you know, efficiency and prop size and all this different kind of stuff to try to maximize your performance. And I really want to stretch to Crossfire's legs. I want to see what it can do. You know, you just can't go that far with a mini quad. I mean, there's just not enough battery. The biggest battery I have is my 5S 1600, and when I strap that to the Proton, I could get 10 and a half to about 11 minutes if I go really nice and slow on it. And that's not just not going to get you very far. So that's pretty much Inav there in a quick look, and there'll be, like I said, a bunch of that stuff coming up. I'll document the whole build and do some tutorials and add some of my stuff to it. There's a lot of Inav stuff on YouTube. Some of it is current and a lot of it is not, even though much has not changed over the different versions. There's just not a lot out there as far as different things, but this is going to be great. I've got my 2.4 ground station, and now we're going to have a 2.4 video going on. So yeah, and they have custom mixes for the Sky Hunter right on the wiki. If you go into their wiki, which has all the information in the world about everything, they actually have, like I was looking at, like sensor calibration and stuff here. They have all kinds of different kind of popular models like the Sky Hunter, and you can add in like the custom mixes so that way it knows what to do and it'll try to set your PIDs correctly for you and everything like that. I've seen people running these on the Nano Talons, which is a huge hit right now because it's like $100 airplane that is super small but flies great and will fly for, man, I mean, I've seen people have them up in the air for like an hour. And yeah, the Omnibus F4 is the key. That is for sure. But the whole setup, basically, you know, GoPro is going to be here, PDB is going to be here, and then we'll be having our 5 volt and 12 volt taps for the VTX, and then I'll run power from the immersion 2.4 to the run cam, because the power filtering and everything in these are just awesome. I mean, if you just look at the size of it and everything, I mean, this is when the VTXs were built to be VTXs. If you, it's not shining that much there, but you see, like, you've got 3 layers, yeah, 3 different layers of like heat sinks built into that thing. The worst thing about these is the the plastic wires, so they're kind of a bummer. So leave those pretty long, and just kind of route those through and then put on silicone wires onto everything. But I've been through and traced out that. I will be putting like a 90 degree on there. I'm not going to just bend it up like that, even though it probably would work. So I do have everything extra sparred and glued together. The Recruit itself, you don't have to, there's no glue or no assembly really required with it. As far as you just screw in these screws here to bring the wings together. But like I said, I've added some extra sparring and some extra glue to glue these two halves together, and I'll come over these with cloth tape as well whenever we're done. But you can see that it's been setting down here in the basement, and you can see the dust back here on it from it collecting dust all winter because it hasn't been flown at all. But these things fly really good. You know, 3S 2200 is what I plan on running to start with. Maybe change that to like a 4S 1800. You're limited to 3S on the power system that comes with the Recruit, because the ESC can handle 3 to 4S, but the motor can only handle 3S. And so we'll change that out, and we'll wire up the PDB and everything here, and then we'll have some nylon standoffs that'll be going up on top of that, and then we'll be putting the DYS F4 Pro on there, and we'll wire in GPS and Crossfire into that. There's plenty of UARTs on that thing. I was debating just running everything off of it, but I know how hot that it's going to get, so that's why I decided to go with the PDB. I've seen out of the maybe 7 or 8 people that are doing good iNav videos, there's only maybe one that is actually running everything off of the Omnibus and not using a PDB. And I think he is actually using an airplane ESC, which has, you know, a pretty big back built into it. I think he put like a 40 amp Turnigy Plush ESC into his wing, and I think that has like a big 3 amp back and lots of cooling and everything like that built into it, which is pretty sweet. So basically, I'm going to pick out the power system and just start extending wires and everything. And like I said, we'll probably do like some video. I'll put up some videos, and maybe we'll do some live stream and some work together and stuff on Saturday nights, build nights and stuff like that. That's pretty fun. Had a good time last Saturday with everybody, talking about the D-Shot experience and changing around some of those parameters and everything. So that was a pretty good time. And then of course we'll be putting the Crossfire in, and I've got it taped, and I've got some welder glue on the UFL connector so that doesn't pop off or break. Don't want to have any issues with that, that's for sure. So that's pretty much it. I mean, it's going to be, pretty short live stream here. I just wanted to kind of go over like what the basic plans were, so you guys can kind of take a look out on the channel if you're interested in it or not. But like I said, I'll be posting the videos, and when I get a little bit further ahead in the build and everything, then maybe we'll do another live stream. I'm really in no super hurry to get this thing going because, like I said, it's still going to be winter and it's going to be cold. And I'm not going to stand outside in the freezing cold, even though I could probably fly this out a long ways from my car, especially if I had a roof-mounted antenna. I've got the ground station that'll be sitting outside. By the way, ground station, I have an 8-inch monitor, and I'm running Rmrc Duo 2400 with a VAS Pepper Box and VAS Mad Mushroom. And then my 2.4 antennas are that I'm using are the Singularity, the True-RC Singularity 2.4s, which are awesome, and it's hard to believe that, yeah, that is a 2.4 antenna. You see that right next to the Crossfire. Most 2.4 antennas are that big, but he's done some pretty special stuff for 2.4. Now we just need some better, newer age 2.4 transmitters and everything, and we'll be good to go. We'll see what happens. Crossfire keeps on getting bigger and bigger. I never thought that they could get it smaller than this. And now the Crossfire Nano is literally like the size of a dime, maybe between a dime and a nickel, so a penny. So who knows what in the world is going to be coming out next, that's for sure. I do know that there's a little bit of problems with those nanos as far as binding and flashing. I'm kind of glad I'm staying away from it for right now until the dust settles. I know they came out with a second firmware today, 225. So if you bought a Nano and you want to run it, you're going to have to update your Crossfire to at least 224. And after that, a lot of people are having problems flashing and rebinding to their micro receivers. So they put out a new firmware, 225. They said to make sure that these are set to open region, not to US or Europe specific, before you do anything like that. And I don't know, that's just kind of like an FYI to throw out there while everybody else is kind of checking things out and stuff. So they got it that small. I'm pretty sure the next thing is going to be like a Nano and a Unify on like one board. Has to be. So anyway, guys, thanks for stopping by the stream. I really don't have anything else. Go ahead and cut you off. Keep you here talking and stuff. As always, just let me know if you have any questions about anything. Hit me up on instant message or find me on one of the Facebook groups, Long Range Hooligans or Inav now or something like that. So keep an eye out for the channel. Keep you guys updated. Thanks for stopping by, and we will see you later.